Daddy Rubskin here, your Sega Genesis geek, and today we're talking about Sega Visions. Yeah, which is an awesome video game magazine published by Sega, which was their answer to Nintendo Power, right? And everybody knows what Nintendo Power is, right? It's Nintendo's own magazine that promoted Nintendo products and Nintendo games. And it was full of tips and tricks and secrets and shit, for you to use. Well, that's the same thing that Sega Visions was. Sega Visions was their answer to Nintendo Power. And Sega Visions was a lot like Nintendo Power. It was also full of tips and tricks and secrets and cheat codes and stuff like that. There was also like comics, and it also advertises Sega products, right? Like Sega shit and Sega games, and yeah. But there's a big difference between Sega Visions and Nintendo Power. It is the fact that Sega Visions, Sega gave away for free, right? Yeah, it was free. If you bought like Sega merchandise, you could send away for a free Sega Vision subscription. You get those magazines sent to your house for free. Yeah, but Nintendo Power, well, you had to pay for that subscription, Yeah, it wasn't cheap either. But Sega Visions was free. Yeah. Another major difference between Nintendo Power and Sega Visions is that, well, Nintendo Power lasted longer, Sega Visions was only published between 1990 and 1995. Yeah. There's really not that many issues out there. And it was never as popular as Nintendo Power. So they're actually harder to find than issues of Nintendo Power. Yeah, there's only actually 25 issues of Sega Visions ever published. Only 25. But that's pretty interesting for collectors, because you don't really have to get that many issues to have a complete collection of Sega Visions magazines, Or you could just go online, because there's a couple websites that have really high resolution images of all 25 issues of Sega Visions. And that's pretty cool too, And it's interesting collectors too, because those 25 issues of Sega Visions tells a story. The story of the rise and fall of Sega as a dominant power in the video game industry, From the very first issue, published in 1990, that declares that Sega is going to rule the 90s with the help of Michael Jackson, Ghostbusters, and Spider-Man, And they really did, They did, By 1991, with the help of Sonic the Hedgehog, they actually took a big chunk of the video game industry. They controlled 67% of the video game market. And between 91 and 92, they were the #1 video game system. Yeah, Sega Genesis, baby. Woohoo! Right? But by 93, they started to decline. And by 1995, when they stopped publishing Sega Visions magazine, is when things kind of went into the toilet, The final issue of Sega Visions is kind of weird, advertising the arrival of Virtual Fighter 2 on the Sega Saturn, and the word Visions is made out of little naked silver guys. I don't know what's up with that. But what happened? Where did Sega go wrong? What happened? How did they go from being #1 to that's why reading these Sega Visions magazine is so interesting, because it really tells the story of the decline of Sega as a business, because they really did make a bunch of bad decisions, and you could track it from the first issue to the Sonic issue, to the Sonic 2 issue, the Toe Jam and Earl issue, and the Eternal Champions issue, right? Yeah, I love the Eternal Champions issue. The cover has it looks like a similar drawing to the cover of the video game, right? With the same guys in the same poses, but it's like done by a different artist. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of weird. Yeah. And there's other issues that tell the story of what happened. Like this issue, advertising the arrival of the Sega Channel, right?
It's the new age in cable television. Sega Channel, available now through your cable company.
I mean, they dumped a lot of money into this fucking Sega Channel, a cable channel where you could download video games and stuff like that. Is it really ahead of its time? But like too ahead of its time. It couldn't possibly fucking work. You know what I'm saying? They spent a lot of money developing a CD add-on to the Sega Genesis, the fucking 32X, and a lot of other shit. You know?
32.
Finally leading to the arrival of the Saturn, right? And the downfall of fucking Sega. It's kind of sad, actually. And one of the many bad fucking business decisions Sega made was not charging people for fucking subscriptions to Sega Visions, you know? What the fuck? Nintendo Power always fucking charged people for subscriptions, you know? And Nintendo Power is actually the longest running video game magazine in history, right? Run longer than fucking Game Pro, Game Informer, Electronic Gaming Monthly, or any other fucking gaming magazine that's ever existed. Nintendo Power has been around longer than any other video game magazine ever. Even though it's basically just a promotional magazine for fucking Nintendo, you know? It's always fucking recommending Nintendo games. Of course it is, right? Never recommends any fucking PlayStation games or Xbox games in Nintendo Power. Fuck no. It's a Nintendo magazine. And actually, Nintendo Power was published internally at fucking Nintendo, right? I mean, they were publishing it themselves and charging people for a subscription. Sega actually had to go to an outside publisher to publish fucking Sega Visions magazine. And they were giving that shit away for free. Oh, well, I mean, not completely free. You could buy individual issues if you wanted to, you know. How much were they, like $3.50? Yeah, you could just buy it off the rack with the rest of the other magazines. I mean, it's a magazine, right? Buy wherever magazines are sold. Just like Nintendo Power. You could buy them individually at the store, right? But why would you buy individual issues when you could get a subscription for free, you know? I mean, fucking Nintendo promoted the fuck out of Nintendo Power, right? Anytime you bought a Nintendo game, it usually came with a bunch of promotional material for Nintendo Power, right? I mean, I got Tetris on the Nintendo, complete with all the shit it came with, right? Including a lot of promotional shit for fucking Nintendo Power. To play seriously, you need the power from the pages of this magazine. Hell yeah, right? Because you're not a serious player unless you have Nintendo Power, right? And what are they charging here for it anyway? It costs $3.50. Okay, so you can get 6 issues for $15. Right on. Yeah, okay, but there's another fucking insert here. Danger, do not open unless you're ready to become a power animal. Nintendo Power brings out the beast in me. Another fucking advertisement for fucking Nintendo Power. Right, what did it charge you? Yes, I want to be unleashed. For what? A 2-year subscription for $30? It's not bad. But then there's also like a poster, right? There's a fucking fold-out poster. It's like, now you're playing with power. Showing a listing of a bunch of fucking Nintendo games and stuff that are available, right? And then on the back, it's like, get the power. Nintendo Power. Yeah. It's a poster advertising Nintendo Power. So that's like what? There's like 2 little inserts and a poster fucking advertising Nintendo Power in this one fucking game. 3 fucking inserts. Yeah, they were really promoting the shit out of that. And they were making fucking money because they were charging people for it. You know, Nintendo Power was its own source of revenue. That's why it ran for so long. I mean, it ran from 1988 to 2012. And its final issue was a really cute fucking tribute to its first issue. It had like a Play-Doh fucking Mario hopping around. The final issue had a really nice looking Play-Doh Mario hopping around. Yeah. I mean, Nintendo Power, I gotta respect fucking Nintendo Power. And back in the day, I definitely used the shit out of it, you know. I remember this fucking Castlevania issue, right? It had fucking Simon Belmont holding fucking Dracula's fucking decapitated head. I mean, that issue was fucking essential for fucking beating Simon's Quest, right? It basically told you how to fucking beat the game, you know. I really love Nintendo Power. But Sega Visions, you know, deserves some fucking respect too. And, yeah, you should check it out. Fucking do it. anyway, till fucking next time, keep it real.